Hi, this is Trepacer. Welcome to my review with spoilers of The Force Awakens. Vader's not here. I'm doing this without him. Okay, he went off on his own, so I'm gonna do it. You know, screw him. Anyway, this is my review with spoilers of The Force Awakens. Like I said, I really enjoyed it a lot. I liked the performance of the young cast. I liked the way they integrated uh, the young cast with the old cast, and I liked it for the most part, and I had a few nitpicks with it, but it was an enjoyable movie, and I know it had a lot of hype to live up to, and I think for the most part it did live up to the hype. There was a few things that I thought weren't great, but a few things that I thought were fantastic. And so the first thing I want to talk about, the basic story, of course, in this is that it's supposed to be 30 years after the fall of the empire, and now there's a new threat, the First Order. Okay, and Luke Skywalker has gone missing because he was training the Knights of Ren, and basically Kylo Ren was a student who was Ben Kenobi, which we know from this movie. He's a Han Solo and Leia's son, and he turned against them and slaughtered the rest of the students, and Luke went into exile. Okay, and now the First Order is looking for a map that's supposed to show the location of where Luke went off to, and they want to destroy it. They want to find that map and just and find out where Luke is hiding and destroy him. Okay, that's the basic thrust of the movie. Okay, and of course Finn, who's the stormtrooper who's supposed to be a sanitation worker, and this he goes on his first mission when they go down to the planet looking for the map where Poe Dameron is, and he's just getting the map from Max von Sydow's character, who's on it only on screen. That's only one of the bad things about that. Max von Sydow, who's only on screen for like maybe 5 minutes or max, maybe. But he passed along the map to Poe Dameron. But before Poe Dameron can escape, of course, you know, the First Order comes along and captures him, and BB-8 goes off on his own in the desert on Jakar, and that's when he runs into Rey. Anyway, what I liked about the movie, surprisingly, uh, was Kylo Ren. Adam Driver, Adam Driver, I know he's on Girls. I haven't seen him in much of anything really, except maybe Girls. I've seen a few episodes of Girls, so I didn't know too much of his work. But I thought Adam Driver actually played Kylo Ren pretty. I mean, he played Kylo Ren like a guy having a temper tantrum, basically, and that's what he was. He's a guy he's trained but not fully trained, because you get to see that in his conversations with General Smoke. Uh, he basically, I think at one point he even says to him, I will continue. Once I continue my training with you, I'll be the master. But so, in the movie, at least, he seemed to be, he's a pretty good badass. Okay, and one of the things that I didn't like, well, I didn't like, but I thought was kind of BS, was that big confrontation they had in the forest between with Rey and Finn and an injured uh, Kylo Ren. Now, of course, Finn and I know Rey was Force sensitive. Of course, she's the one that's the Force Awakens in. Of course, that you see. I think that scene was done excellently when she actually picks up the lightsaber and she starts hearing the voices and stuff, and she starts having the visions. And even that, I think the part where she turned the interrogation against Kylo Ren. I thought that part was great. But that confrontation in the woods, okay, where basically, well, first Finn kind of holds his own a little bit, but I can understand it because he was angry about what happened to Rey, so I can understand him lasting a little bit, but then eventually he got put to the side, he got put down, and he got his ass handed to him, and then Rey, of course, he uses the Force to get the saber, and then she, at first she's upset, but then she ultimately defeats Kylo Ren. I know he was injured, from the Chewie, shooting him with the blast and stuff, but I still don't think she could have lasted as long as she lasted, even defeat him. I mean, even with the Force, I don't think she could have. Well, I don't think the character should have bested him at that point. But I understand why they did it. But yeah, because I guess they're gonna say, well, Kylo Ren was, even though I think when he turned on Han Solo and killed Han Solo. Speaking of that scene, I thought that scene was done excellently, and when especially when he told his father, he took his helmet off, and he told I'm what he said, I'm twisted up inside or something like that, and then he said, and he said, help me, and then he was giving him the lightsaber, and then he just turned it on and and basically phased it through him, and then Han Solo died like that, and I thought that scene was great, and then got Chewie roaring and stuff, and everybody else screaming, Rey and Finn watching him from above. So, I thought that scene was done excellently, but I just thought the scene at the towards the end where that battle, and even though it was a good scene to watch, I don't think it should have went that way, but it is what it is. Okay, and as far as I have had a lot of criticism of Finn, saying that he was too comical a character. I think John Boyega did a great job, actually, because listen, what his character was. Okay, he was a guy that was taken, like the Stormtroopers was, and trained to be, and he was on his first mission. Okay, and he had a conscience. He couldn't just. I guess he overcame the brainwashing, and didn't want to kill him. He wanted to get away from the First Order. A lot of people say he was just comic relief and he didn't do much, but look what he did. He broke away from the First Order. He helped Poe Dameron escape. Okay, and he took out a few armaments on that big battle cruiser, and then he actually was helping Rey, when they had to escape, from BB-8. Because listen, even though they were chasing him really, well, the droid more BB-8, but he helped, Rey when they jumped on the Millennium Falcon and stuff. And I thought and then of course he battled the stormtroopers when they came to the planet. Come on, he actually went back. He actually, left like he was going to leave. He basically told Rey when I thought John Boyega and Daisy Ridley had great chemistry, and I do think it is romantic chemistry. I think they do have romantic chemistry, and I think it was intended that way, because the first moment that he, which I thought was hilarious, the first actual meeting was funny, because when he went to look like she's getting jumped by these two guys, and he looked like he was going to help her, but then she basically beat the crap out of the two guys, and then he stopped, and then BB-8 pointed him out, and then she started coming after him, and then she whacked him. I thought they were great, and then he pretended to be part of the resistance just because she was a pretty girl, and then he ultimately helped her get to a certain point, and then he was just going to leave, but then when he found out what was happening, he actually stayed around. He thought about her, and he actually cared about her, and he actually came back, and then he even risked his life again to go after her, to find her. So, and then of course the scene in the woods after Kylo Ren basically tossed Rey to the side, and he basically he fought, even though he couldn't really last in a fight with Kylo Ren. So to say he was comical and his part wasn't good, I think that's a load of crap. I think people just are nitpicking it to death, and I think he played an important part to the movie. And like I said, the movie was their introduction. I know Rey has the more important part, I think, but you never know going forward. Finn's part is going to be an 8, which I'll get to in a minute. Which I think I know what his part will be, or what I hope it to be in part 8, part 9. Okay, and as far as my other nitpick with this movie is, well, it is a nitpick, because I know they say Luke Skywalker went into exile after the disaster with the Knights of Ren, but I think they could have included him more in the movie, and not to have him say nothing at all, just make that appearance at the end. Well, that was people were happy with that. I wanted I wanted him to actually be in the movie, maybe in that forest scene, like when Rey and Finn are fighting Kylo Ren, and then let's say the fight would have went this way when Kylo Ren got the best of Rey and getting ready to basically kill her, and then Luke Skywalker would have showed up and then handed Kylo Ren his ass, and then they all escape off. I think that would have been it. And then you got to actually hear Luke speak and see him reunite with Leia and actually comfort her upon the death of Han Solo, and just maybe even say that he felt Han Solo's death or something. I think that would have been. That's my only kind of nitpick with that about Luke Skywalker. I mean, he's Luke Skywalker, and just to have him come in a 30, 45 seconds, however long that was clipped, and no dialogue. I think that was kind of a waste of Luke Skywalker's character. I really do. I think you could have included him more. I can understand if you wanted him to be mysterious and everything and have him away, but and then come, because ultimately I think he's going to be the one to train Rey in the future. But I think you could have had him more. I think he could have showed up in that forest scene, which is what I was hoping, that he would show up in that forest scene, that he would show up and be the, and save, and basically, like I said, hand Kylo Ren his ass and take off with Luke and with Rey and Finn, and then of course reunite with Leia, and then they go off at the end. But the way the movie ended, and this is why I'm saying, a lot of people say they don't want to see Finn and Rey be romantic, but I think it's set up to be that way. At least that's the way at least J.J. Abrams wrote it, and I know he said he talked with Rian Johnson about about the way the movies are going to be going forward, and even that last scene, come on, where she basically says, "We're going to meet again, my friend," and she kisses on the head. Come on, are you telling me it's not going to be romantic? That would be like a waste because you set it up in this movie, and it seems that's the way they're going with it, which I have no problem because I think Daisy Ridley and John Boyega had good chemistry in this movie. And I know a lot of people too hate the fact that they built another sort of Death Star, even though this is a big, gigantic Death Star. They even made a point of showing, two images of the Death Star, the original Death Star, and the the what do you call it, the Planet Killer, or whatever. Was even gigantic, like 6 times or 8 times the size of a Death Star. And I know people hated that, but I actually liked that scene where they showed them firing it up that one time and it just destroyed all those worlds. And I liked the aerial battle at the end. I know a lot of people said that was kind of I wish they only did that to give Poe Dameron more screen time, which was also another one of my gripes. Poe Dameron Oscar Isaac wasn't in this movie as much as I thought he was going to be. In fact, he wasn't. And the fact that they didn't show, which I also thought was very weird, when him and Finn crash landed on the planet, and you just see Finn waking up, but you see no sign of Poe Dameron, and then later, all of a sudden in the movie, you see him, flying this plane, and what you scratch your head, go, what the hell? How did he survive? And then he kind of gives a quick explanation later when he and Finn kind of reunite, which I thought was just BS. Why are you going to do it? That was just, I don't know, that was very weird and very kind of off the cuff. I don't know if they even filmed it, maybe him actually, because he said he ejected and he walked in the desert somewhere else. And then, but yet, how did his jacket landed elsewhere? It was just too weird, that whole sequence of how he just basically disappeared for part of the movie. And then he shows up later when they need him, when they're battling on that planet, which I thought was good. And I liked Harrison Ford. I think he stepped right back into the role of a Han Solo, and I think he did a great job. And he had a lot of screen time. And like I said, that's one of my, why my negative thing about that movie. I would have loved to see Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill and characters, all 3 of them together, but now you won't, because Harrison Ford's character is, Han Solo's dead. Now you can't see them all 3 together. I want to see all 3 of them together on screen together, the 30 years later. I think that would have been a nice touch. But, they killed Han Solo off, which I had a feeling he was gonna die. I know a lot of people were saying there was speculation and that, and it did come to pass. But I thought his death scene was pretty good. And now going forward, this is what I think is going to happen in my speculation for the future going forward with the Star Wars universe. Of course, now that Rey is, with Luke, I think she will train with him, to become, to expand her Jedi training, and because obviously she has the Force in her, and I think also Kylo Ren is going to be training with General Smoke now that he's, because they didn't actually show you this part, and that may be a deleted scene after Chewie picked up Finn and Rey, and Kylo was still on the ground basically, but you saw General Smoke told the other guy to go get Kylo Ren, and he's going to probably complete his training. And I also don't want them to try to redeem Kylo Ren. He's full of evil. I'm sorry, he killed Han Solo, so there's no redeeming him. I'm sorry. There's no. I know they said Darth Vader did a lot of stuff, and ultimately he got redeemed in the end, but he died in the end. When he saved Luke, he still died. That was the price he had to pay. Even though he saved Luke, for all the other deaths he caused, he died. He didn't save Luke and then live. Okay, he died. Okay, but I want Kylo Ren to be full on evil. Okay, go ahead and take a journey to the dark side, and I think eventually there is going to be a showdown with the fully trained Jedi Rey and Kylo Ren in the third movie. I think that is going to happen. Cousin versus cousin, because I think Rey is Luke's daughter. I just think that that's obvious. I think, and I think they should go that way. That is his daughter. I think that they purposely didn't show you who left her on the planet. They just showed the ship taken off. So I think that is Luke's daughter, and I think they will. And as far as Finn is concerned, his future, I know he's going to be in the 8th movie and the 9th movie, I think, because he signed for those. But I'm assuming that he's going to be part of the Resistance because he got left there on that, the Resistant base. And I think Poe Dameron, who I think they had good chemistry too. Oscar Isaac and John Boyega, they had good chemistry together, which is good. Their scenes, I like their scenes a lot. And I think Poe Dameron will be in this movie, the next movie, more. You'll see him more because I think he's going to be training Finn. I think Finn will be a kick-ass pilot in the future. I think so, and I think he will get better. And I think he may have some robotic parts because he took that blast right in the back that when Kylo Ren in that forest fight. So I think he probably will get some robotic parts to him and stuff. And who knows? He may be a Jedi. Maybe he will down the line. And I do think he will. I know they said they're casting a female action star to be his, like, I guess, co-lead in the next movie. And I think what they will do, because this is my speculation, I think there's going to be two separate stories going on. They're going to be Rey getting trained by Luke, and then of course I think the Resistance. It'll be Finn getting trained with Poe Dameron, and the female lead, she'll probably be one of the pilots getting trained as well with him as well, and they'll have their little interactions and stuff. But ultimately, I think there'll be some, the First Order will be doing something, some big mission or something, then they'll have to go. The Resistance and Finn will be on that mission with Poe Dameron and the female leaders, and they may even get captured and stuff. And then of course Rey will she'll leave her training just like Luke did in Empire to go rescue them, and then there'll be the ultimate climactic showdown in the 9th part. Okay, and I do think at the end Finn and Rey are going to end up together. I just think they set it up that way in this movie. Before this movie began, I thought that was a possibility, but I didn't know they would do that. But after seeing the movie, especially seeing the movie twice, you could see it coming a mile away. They set them up for that, with Finn first having the crush on her and stuff, and then, basically telling her that she gave him a reason to fight, and then he left, and then when he found out she was in trouble and danger, he actually risked his life to go back and get her. Okay, tell me if that's not romantic. And then when they had that hug, on the on the base, Starkiller base, come on, that wasn't a friend hug. That hug when they were reunited, that wasn't a friend hug. That was a future romantic partner hug, to me at least it was. Anyway, so this is my review with spoilers, I guess, of this. So I got it all in there. I think I covered all my points. And too bad Vader is not here. Tough titty on him. Okay. So I just want to say I saw this twice, and I think I'll probably go see it again, maybe next week, Christmas. That week, next weekend, or maybe Christmas, because we get out Christmas Eve. So maybe I might go see Christmas Eve. But anyway, I enjoyed it. Well, let me know what you think of my review and my future speculation in the comments section below. And if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. And this is Trepacer saying saying so long and take care.